Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, and welcome to Miftahul Ilm. In this video, I'm going to speak about my own experiences learning the Arabic language. Now, understandably, Arabic is not an easy language. So, once you want to start learning the language, the first thing that you have to do is to learn the alphabet, the letters. And that in itself may be challenging because in the Arabic language, what you do is you read from right to left. So that is something very different when we compare this to like English or other languages. So learning Arabic is a process. In this video, I'm going to share with you my own experiences going through this process. When I was a child, I was taught the Arabic letters as a child. Now, as a child, learning is easier compared to as when you become older. So as a child, I was taught the Arabic letters, and even as a child, as I remember, it was not very easy because you have to learn all the tools that you have in order to read the Quran, in order to know how the letters are connected to one another, and there are some tools that you have to have in order to read the Quran in Arabic. So as a child, I was taught the letters. But unfortunately, throughout time, I did not keep up practicing reading the Quran actually in Arabic. So what happened was that when I became older, I had forgotten the letters. And because I had forgotten the letters, I had to return to relearning the letters one more time. And I remember that when I started to relearn the letters, it was quite challenging because even though I had learned the letters when I was a child, it was quite challenging because it's something that you're not used to. Even if you learn something, if you don't keep up with it, if you don't practice it, then you forget it. And it may become even more difficult the next time to learn it. So I had a really tough time while while relearning, so to say, the Arabic letters. And I also remember I wanted to learn the science of tajweed. So to beautify the recitation of the Quran, you need to have this specific knowledge of what is called tajweed. And I remember that I took a course, obviously this is a long time ago, took a course with Miftahul Ilm, a tajweed course, which actually helped me because I had also learned tajweed before, but I wanted to freshen up my memory. So I took a course with Miftahul Ilm. So as you can see, I had learned and then forgotten because I did not keep up. And this is one thing I can say about learning the letters. And I'm not talking about learning the language because it's all about now learning the letters. Learning the language itself is something that came later. I will speak about it inshallah in the upcoming minutes. But this is now just learning the letters. So what I can say by experience is that even though I had learned the letters before, but I did not keep up. And this is something that I can say without a doubt that if you don't keep up when you learn the letters, you will forget. Because if you don't keep up, if you don't practice, you will eventually forget. And once you forget, and some time passes by, it may even get more difficult to relearn. This is what happened with me. So Allah in the end made it easy, and I was able to relearn the letters and also freshen up my knowledge about the science of tajweed, beautifying the recitation of the Quran. So approximately 13, 14 years ago, when I wanted to learn the Arabic language, now I was able to read the Quran, but I wanted to learn the Arabic language. It was not sufficient for me to just simply read the Quran. I really wanted to understand what Allah says in its original form. I believed that would help me connect with Allah and connect with the religion of Islam and help me with with my religious identity as a Muslim. So this was my motivation to learn the Arabic language, and I think this is one thing that should motivate all of us, because it indeed deepens your connection with the Book of Allah and with your religious identity in general, because you understand the revelation word to word, without using any translation. This is something that is very, very special. So when I wanted to learn, I thought about ideas of how to accomplish this. Now, obviously, there are many, many ways now to do this. Specifically, there are many opportunities to learn online. And back in time, I really had a huge interest for English. So English is a foreign language for me, and I had learned English, and I was somewhat proficient in the English language. So I had an idea of how to learn a language, and I was back in time. This is like 12, 13 years ago. I had researched about opportunities to go somewhere and learn the Arabic language, and of course, with the Arabic language comes Islamic sciences. But but my first interest was to learn Arabic, and then came Islamic sciences. So while researching, I found the Islamic University of Medina, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in the city of Rasulullah, the Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, Medina. So what I did was I applied to that university, but because I saw that applying was specifically, or not just for those, but specifically for foreigners. So I had applied for the university, and after my application, I waited like 1 year or 13 months before getting accepted. So when I had applied, obviously I had to wait to get the acceptance from the university. And in that period, I tried to learn through some Syrian brothers who were trying to help me learn the Arabic language. And that phase was a slow phase, but I tried to pick up some words here and there as good as I could. And then after waiting, I got accepted to the Islamic University of Medina. Now this gave me the opportunity to actually go to a place, to a country where Arabic is spoken, to an Arabic country where Arabic is spoken, and to an environment where people speak Arabic to one another. So when I went to Medina, I was in the environment of students of knowledge, who were all there with one aim: to learn Arabic and to understand Islamic sciences, to study Islamic sciences. So when I was in Medina, a totally new phase began for me, which actually is one of the most beautiful days, months, and years that I've experienced so far in my life. So obviously, in the Islamic University of Medina, they have a school for foreigners learning the Arabic language. Now, I remember when I went there, and like I said, I had tried to pick up some Arabic from here and there, but it was not systematic. It was not a way of systematically learning a language, in this case the Arabic language. So I can remember when I went to Medina, and when I started, when I got enrolled in the language school, I can remember very, very well how the teachers came one by one, trying to teach us Arabic. And one thing that must be mentioned here is that you learned Arabic through the Arabic language itself. And let me give you a very, very simple example. For example, if the teacher wanted to teach you what a chair means in Arabic, a chair in Arabic means kursi, kursi. So what he would do is that he would show with his finger to the chair, and he would say in Arabic, هذا كرسي, هذا كرسي. هذا كرسي means this is a chair. And then he would want you to repeat what you just said. And then you would say, هذا كرسي. And these were my first steps actively and systematically learning the Arabic language. Like you see, learning the Arabic language through Arabic itself, because the teachers did not speak English with us or did not use any other language with us. They primarily spoke Arabic. So actually, that was something that was very, very special. And well, obviously, it took some time. I went there in the year of 2016, and it took me more than a year, 1.5 years, to actually learn Arabic as far as doing the things that I had to do in daily life in Medina on my own. Because before that, you always had someone accompanying you and helping you with your daily life. But once you learned, or once your learning process uh, gave you the motivation, or gave you the, well, I would say, the competence to go out on your own, or to handle your things on your own, you were able to do it. And it took me like more than a year to actually um, handle things on my own, go somewhere and express myself, or make myself understandable to the one that I'm speaking to. So that was a very, very interesting phase in my life, and something that I cherish actually now. Yes, it was difficult, but nonetheless, it was very, very interesting. Now, while learning, I gave importance to four aspects, and these four aspects must be mentioned when you want to learn any language. It was reading. So I tried to read a lot. I tried to read a lot in Arabic. Now, as a beginner in the Arabic language, you need to have vowels if you want to read. You cannot read if you don't have the vowels in the beginning. So I had books for children, specifically written for children, and I read them. One important book was the stories of the prophets. It was an Islamic book, and it was a book that was easily written. And I have read that book more often, even after having read it once, because it's a beautiful book. Qisasul Anbiya. So I read. This is what I gave importance to. Listening. Well, you have to listen, and you have to listen obviously to the standard Arabic language, Al Fusha. That is the modern standard Arabic, Al Fusha. Because there are many dialects in the Arabic language. You can learn dialects, but you must know the standard Arabic language, which is Al-Lughatul Arabiyyatul Fusha. So listening, I try to listen a lot to students speaking Al Fusha, standard Arabic. Or try to listen. There are many useful YouTube videos. Try to listen to scholars who mostly speak اللغة العربية الفصحى. So that is what I did. Speaking obviously very, very important. You can never actually reach a certain level in the language if you don't speak it. So speaking was very, very vital. And I spoke, and I had the opportunity to speak because I lived with people who were in my own situation, or with people who had already learned. So I spoke a lot. I tried to speak, and you must not be afraid of making mistakes while speaking. So speaking is an important factor. And I also did something else, which is writing. Writing is also important. So you must give importance to writing, and you must write. Even if you make mistakes while writing, you need to write. You need to have friends who you can chat with, and writing. And you also have to learn how to write by hand, which also takes time. So I gave importance to the mentioned four aspects while learning. And after more than approximately 2 years, I was ready to get enrolled at the faculty of Sharia, at the faculty in the Islamic University of Medina, which is called Sharia, which is all about the science of fiqh. So that is what I did. It took me like 2 years of actively going through a struggle, but in the end, Alhamdulillah, with Allah's help, I was able to reach a level which what enabled me now to study at the faculty in the Islamic University of Medina. So to continue with my Arabic, with my story with the Arabic language, I must say that it actually continues. The story has not ended. It has not come to an end yet, and it will never come to an end, because learning is a process, and you never stop learning. So I daily learn. I daily learn something new. But to put it short, you need some time. You need to give you some time in order to reach a certain level of proficiency, certain level of language that you can actually say afterwards that you have learned a certain language. And this also goes for the Arabic language. But I can also now obviously say that once I got enrolled into the faculty of Sharia, Islamic jurisprudence. This is what I studied at the Islamic University of Medina, or this was my major in the Islamic University of Medina. I obviously was able to deepen my knowledge about the Arabic language more and more, not just simply Islamic sciences, no, but also the Arabic language. But fact of the matter is that my journey keeps continuing. So there are important aspects that I mentioned that you have to be able to give importance to, and once you do this, it will become easy, inshallah, with time. So Miftahul Ilm gives you the opportunity to learn. And even if you don't go to an Arabic language, if you just learn online, but even learning online will, because not everybody has the opportunity to go overseas and learn, but learning online gives you the chance to, accomplish your goals. To understand the Quran, this is what you want. You want to understand the Quran. So, in order to achieve this goal, all you have to do is to scroll down and click through a few clicks, a few links, inshallah, and then you can start learning Arabic with Miftahul Ilm. And this is possible. Miftahul Ilm has many years of teaching the Arabic language successfully, and it also gives you a community which you can engage with whom you can engage with, and this will also enable you to make friends and find people who are on the same path learning the Arabic language. So if you want to learn, don't lose any time and start now learning Arabic with Miftahul Ilm.